What's up YouTube? This is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you today with the Crystal Beast deck profile for the Crystal Beast deck that I used in my recent duel videos. If you haven't checked out those duel videos yet, there shall be links to them down here at the bottom of the screen, so make sure you go and check them out, watch those videos, then come on back and take a look at this deck list. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is kind of run through the cards, kind of talk to you about my card choices, and talk about some of the combos that it's capable of doing. Alright, so here we go. So first off, of course, we're playing with 3 Pegasus. This is the main Crystal Beast of the deck. Essentially what I normally do is I don't normally run the wide variety of Crystal Beast monsters. I kind of run a condensed version down. I don't use Rainbow Dragon typically. But I did get a lot of messages from people asking me to make a Rainbow Dragon type-esque build for my Crystal Beast deck. And so this is what I've kind of done. So, for the rest of the Crystal Beast support, we also have 2 of the Ruby Carbuncle, and then for everyone else, we're just playing 1. 1 Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger, 1 Amber Mammoth, 1 Tortoise, 1 Eagle, and then 1 Cat. Now, I know a lot of people think that this is not nearly enough of the Crystal Beast monsters to run if you're playing a kind of Rainbow Dragon-esque build, but I don't think you really need much of the other Crystal Beast monsters. I think you should really only be relying on your Pegasus and then your Carbuncle to go for your big plays. You kind of do this in a way with utilizing Summoner Monk. He allows you to get a lot of your Pegasuses out when you draw into him. So he's able to bring your Pegasus out. Pegasus puts one of your Crystal Beast monsters you don't need into your back row. Then you can go ahead and go for a nice Exceed play, or you can just let them both sit out there. Also, since we're playing Summoner Monk, I'm playing 1 tuner. I'm going with Scrap Beast. We're using him very specifically for Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon works extremely well in the Crystal Beast deck because it has a nice little combo with Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. Okay, from there, we're playing 2 copies of the Malefic Cyber End Dragon. Field Spell is real easy to get in this deck. You can real easy to keep on the field since it can't be destroyed as long as you have a Crystal Beast monster in the back row. So keeping him alive with the Field Spell out is relatively easy. 4,000 beater, definitely a win condition for the deck. We're also playing 2 copies of the Dragon Queen of Tragic Ending. In other builds I like to play 3, but in this one we're playing just 2, mostly because we're trying to tack in some other choices. One of them being Anteatereatingant. This card is kind of probably a mystery to some people. It was released quite a while ago, I guess you could say, in Shadow of Infinity, which was one of the sets that kind of featured a lot of new insect cards. Essentially what it is you send 2 spell, I think it's spell or trap cards in your back row. Yeah. And once he's on the field, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card once per turn. If you use this effect, he himself cannot attack. So it works quite well if you have your Malefic Cyber End out. You can go ahead and bring out Anteatereatingant. Just keep blowing up their back rows so that Malefic can keep attacking. Very cool. And then finally, of course, we're playing just 1 copy of the Rainbow Dragon. I know a lot of people like to play quite a few copies. I think 1 works quite well in this deck. You can typically, I tend to draw into him and haven't quite set up my Crystal Beast yet. You can go for him late game is really when you want to see this guy kind of come out if you haven't already done some of your massive plays. You can go ahead and stall up quite a bit with a lot of the Crystal Beast monsters. You got Dragon Queen of Dragon Ending that's got a huge defense, or you can just keep hitting with her and dropping cards out of their hand or drawing yourself. So lots of different ways to kind of go to different plays with the deck. And that's going to round up the monster count. Okay, so we're not playing any traps, so our spell lineup is quite huge. One of the ways we're able to get to our Pegasus really fast is that we're playing 3 copies of Pot of Duality. Of course, if we're already got pretty good control of the board and we want to start special summoning a lot, we can use this to discard fodder for Summoner Monk. We're also playing 3 copies of Ancient City Rainbow Ruin, probably one of the greatest cards in the Crystal Beast deck lineup. You have lots of great plays you can go here. Different effects for however many Crystal Beast monsters you have in your back row. And the good thing is that the effects don't change. They just kind of stack up upon them. So if you have 1 Crystal Beast monster, you have 1 effect. If you have 2 in the back row, you get 2 different effects you can choose from. If you get 3, you get 3 different effects, 4 different effects. And if you get all 5 back rows filled with Crystal Beast monsters, you have a total of 5 different effects you can choose from. It's not just the 5th effect. Very cool. We're also playing 2 copies of Terraforming to hopefully draw into our Ancient Cities a lot faster. And you can also hopefully get them with your Pot of Duality. From there, we're playing 3 copies of the Crystal Beacon. This card allows you to special summon your Pegasus out from your deck when you already have 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell or trap card zone, thus getting you a monster and another card in your spell or trap card zone. Very cool. For more draw power, we're also playing 2 copies of Rare Value. This works quite well in the deck as you're constantly filling up your back row, and then you can get rid of one of them to go ahead and draw 2 cards. So you're not really losing any advantage of this. It's kind of like a +1. Once you get too many cards in your graveyard of Crystal Beast monsters, whether they heavy storm the field or you're just using them to get rid of for other effects, or they've just gone in there as exceed materials, you can use Crystal Blessing to grab them from your graveyard and put them back into your back row, hopefully filling them up so you can kind of get your Ancient City Rainbow Ruin effects off. I'm also taking in 1 copy of Crystal Tree. I use it in some of my Crystal Beast decks. Sometimes I take it out. It's kind of a pretty cool little card if you can get it early game. Late game, it's kind of a dead draw. From there, we just got kind of staples: Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Mind Control, 1 MST, and then a Pot of Avarice, so we can kind of recycle some of our Crystal Beast monsters if need be. And that's going to round up our spell card lineup. Okay, for our extra deck, we're using a full lineup of fusions, synchros, and exceed monsters. So pretty cool. Alright, so for the fusion aspect, we're having 2 copies of Cyber End Dragon. This is, of course, so we can get our Malefic Cyber Ends out. For level 7 synchros, we have Scrap Archfiend, Black Rose Dragon, and Ancient Fairy Dragon. For level 8 synchros, we have 2 copies of the Scrap Dragon, and then 1 Stardust. For exceeds, we're playing Number 39 Utopia times 2. You could, of course, play 3 of them. Instead, I'm testing out the Number C39 Utopia Ray in here. Just kind of giving it a whirl, although I'm sure 3 Utopias would work fine. You also got 1 copy of Steel Swarm Roach, 1 Wind-Up Zen Mains, 1 Number 30, and then number 117. And that's going to do it for our extra deck. Okay, so one of my favorite combos in the deck is if you have something like maybe just 1 Crystal Beast monster in your spell or trap card zone, or multiples, whatever the case may be, and then you have your Ancient City Rainbow Ruins out. You can go ahead and summon your Summoner Monk, put him into defense, discard some kind of spell, get his effect out, bring out Scrap Beast, Synchro up into Scrap Dragon. Now from here, what you can do with Scrap Dragon's effect is, since Ancient City is out with at least 1 Crystal Beast monster in its back row as a continuous spell, you can use Scrap Dragon's effect, target Ancient City, and then 1 card your opponent controls. Ancient City cannot be destroyed since there's a Crystal Beast monster out, and then you destroy your opponent's monster. So essentially you get to use Scrap Dragon's effect for free without destroying any of your cards. You can do this once per turn every turn. You just keep targeting your Ancient City and destroying one of your opponent's back rows. That's a very cool, nice little nifty trick. It works quite well if you've already got a monster out like Malefic Cyber End. They're going to obviously keep setting a monster to try and stop you from attacking directly with it. You can use Scrap Dragon's effect to destroy their monster, and then attack directly with Malefic, doing 4k damage. Okay, and if you can get your Anteatereating out as well, now you're destroying their monster every turn, their back row every turn, and hitting directly. So it's kind of a nice little combo if you can get it all out. Getting Scrap Dragon out is not too hard in the deck, especially with Ancient City and at least one back row, because you're playing Summoner Monk and such. And there you have it, YouTube. This is the Crystal Beast deck I was using in my current duel videos. If you've ever liked to play against this deck, you can come find me on Dueling Network. My screen name on Dueling Network is just GalacticGod. So if you'd like to duel me with this deck or any of my other decks, you may come find me there. So in the comment section below, let me know what you think about this deck, what you think I could do to improve it, what you like, what you don't like, all that kind of good stuff. And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.